Recently, I purchased an additional copy of set 7897, the passenger train from like 2006. I did a video on this like 8 or 9 years ago. But this is with some extra cars because I had the other copy of 7897 that we just picked up. So I hadn't run that thing probably since the last video it was in, and it didn't want to go at first. So I had to do some testing. The couple of contacts got corroded and I had to clean them. And so this is me just testing it out after I finally got it working. That was on my copy, and the one that I purchased used was far worse, but finally did get it working. And the first thing I did was add just the one additional car from the third copy because it was going to take a rebuild to make additional cars for this train. But I don't know why I didn't do this back in the day when this set was still available and a lot cheaper to get. Now you're pretty much paying above new prices for a used one after what, 17 years? Should have bought them a long time ago. But yeah, I did. I got the train working with an additional car. And I was testing out the different battery packs from the different motors. And at the time of the recording here of this clip, I still only had the one that was working properly. But I finally messed around with the other one enough until I could work it. And then I wanted to test and see if I could run two at the same time, going in the opposite directions. I had to put the motor in backwards. Fortunately, there's enough slack in there. And so as I was having a problem with it, I got my voltmeter and I'm like, oh, 0 volts. That's a problem. Tested the batteries, make sure they were working. So the batteries had voltage. There's 9 volts. So that's much better. And then the light comes on, so you know it's going to work. If that light's on, it's working. So I got the light on both of them. And now let's see if this is going to work. Yeah, now one of them is actually a little faster than the other, which is probably because of the batteries. I mean, it's always possible that motors run at different speeds, but they were all new batteries, but one was Energizer and one was Harbor Freight. I actually thought the Harbor Freight ones were dead, but they actually were good. It was all my contacts were bad. But once I got that working, then I decided to have a motor in the front and the back. So instead of using the dummy engine, I have 2 motorized engines. So I used the first engine from both models, both copies of the 7897 that I have, and I like that better. I may change one of the lights. The front one is supposed to be the yellow and the back is to be red. These are both yellow because they're both technically the front ones from those sets, but I may make one of them red. It's not that big a deal, but let me know what you think. Should I do that? So this is how I flipped actually I didn't flip the motor around, I just flipped the wire around. Now that I'm looking at my clip, that was what I did to make it run in opposite direction and control it from one controller. And so this is with the two motorized motors and the 2 cars that came with it. So the thing that I would need to do now is rebuild the other parts, the other cars, to make additional cars, if you know what I mean. And I realized I couldn't make it uniform because it's not clear, it's trans black. There's not an additional one for the locomotive, so I was not able to make one that looked just like that. I'm thinking about ordering some of those trans black pieces on eBay. They're not too expensive to make it look more uniform. But that's my additional car that I built from the parts of the other 2 locomotives. And I thought about making another one, but I kind of want to keep my original locomotive all intact, so I did have to steal some pieces from it that I'll have to go and buy. But I do love the original pamphlet here that shows, I think, 3 copies of the train in different arrangements, 3 copies of both the trains. But I'm very happy with it. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'll be trying to add some more.